Hey guys, DJ Love Drop here. I'm here to make a video on why I believe Rift is actually better than WoW at this moment. There's certain things WoW has that Rift doesn't, but overall I think Rift has a better picture over WoW. There's many things people like about Rift and what people like about WoW. What I like about Rift over WoW is the raiding. It's more fun. It's more challenging in my opinion when you get to farther in the raids. Also, I like the part how gearing is in this game. It isn't, you can't just skip through content. So like for instance, if you look at WoW right now, it has Mist of Pandaria, and they have several raids. Well, you can actually gear for the in-game content raid, and then do that over and over, then go into heroics of that raid. Well, in this game, you have to do the beginning raids to go into the second raid. You have to gear from the beginning, no matter what character it is for new, and go from through all the raids. Because, for instance, in this game, if you look at the hit cap, let me just do this real fast for you. If you look at the stats, right, there's also hit, right? And if you look, it says Storm Legion, Expert Dungeon. You need 300 hit, right? And then once you get 300 hit, you can move into then the tier 1 raid. Now, even though Rift went free to play, it's not really pay to win. And you can actually, though, you can pay to get the expert dungeons, so you can skip expert dungeons, but you can't pay to get raid gear dungeons. So, not raid dungeons, but raid. So I can pay the game a lot if I want to get 400 hit, but then I would have to raid tier 1 raids to gain 500 hit, so I can start my tier 2 raids. So you have to do raid tier 1. Whereas WoW, you can just go do dungeons, go buy your gear, go buy everything you need to do, get carried then, and then have all your gear right then and there. It's probably the easiest game I ever played to get geared in WoW. In this game, you actually have to do the raids, there's lockouts, it takes time. And then also what I like about this game too, your faction, you have to max your factions to get best in slot gear also, which just makes it more fun. It isn't like you can just hit a level 60, get 60, get a few pieces of gear, and then you're good to go, and then the in-game content isn't that good. I've been playing this game for about 2 to 3 weeks now, pretty decently hardcore, and I'm still not max capped yet on my, I'm really close, I just need 20,000 more here. But it takes a while for your farming rep. Also, farming reps is kind of fun too, because you have to do greater hunt rifts. What it is this big 20-man rift you do with all these people, and they summon monsters and to protect these condults. And then after that, then the big boss spawns, and you have to have these turrets upgraded that debuff the boss, because you don't, then he takes like 99% reduced damage. And it's a little bit fun. I mean, it gets repetitive after a while, but after your first while, it's fun. Then also there's strongholds, and strongholds, what they do is they're just like this big overview of like a rift, like a raid rift, I guess you could call it. Like, how I explain it is, it starts with these little monsters. You kill these little monsters stage 1. Stage 2, you build up this thing, this guy, this big robot, defend him. And then also you start making platforms above you, and then you have to jump onto the platform, and then you start building it higher and higher. And then stage 3, like this big dude comes out, like a big boss, and he jumps around through the platforms. You gotta jump onto platforms. If you're ranged, you kinda don't have to jump too much. But if you're melee, you have to go with this little ball, and this ball will shoot you to the next platform or into the next ball. And it's really interactive. It doesn't just sit there DPS and laugh. Also, if you don't have a tank, you just die instantly. I think I've died like 6 times in one dude because we didn't have a tank. It was really sad. So it makes it actually like a real fight. It isn't something you can just easily just carry on and not care about, like in WoW, where you can actually just sit there and take the damage and not care. Also, what I like about Rift that WoW doesn't have, WoW has a how would I explain it? The costumes, I guess, like it's okay. Like in WoW, you can like transmog your gear and stuff, but with Rift, if you go to your wardrobes, I can put sets and sets and sets of what I want to look like. Like if you're a big person, it's not like it's just a casual player, and you like how you look, you just want to change it. Maybe I don't feel like wearing this. Instead of spending gold over and over and over transmogging your gear, you just hit your wardrobe. Like I can go naked if I want with my bow. I can hit wardrobe 1, or I can go to 2 to wear the gear I actually am, or maybe take the helmet off. You know, you can do whatever you want with it. I really like this gear right now, but I'm farming for other gears too. It's really fun, and you just have so many sockets. There's what, total of 20, I believe? Yeah, I think so, right? 2, 3, yeah, this is 10 and 20. So you can have 20 different outfits at any given time when you have everything. You can mix and match, you can run naked. Also, you can do many things with it. You can also change the color of your bow. Just transmog. Like, you can do so much of the game. I just like how customizable it is for the player. Also, what WoW doesn't have that Rift has is dimensions. Like right now, the one I'm hosting is my dimension. What it is your own little homeland that you can do whatever you want with. Like, just totally what do you want. Like I have a spiral staircase kind of with platforms that you gotta jump on to get up here. We're actually in space. So if I go outside real fast to show you, we're actually in space, which is also cool. If you look, it's really cool. There's Earth. It's really awesome. I like that. Like this probably took me a good couple hours with a few of my friends, not Testify and like a few others. Really helpful, and it's just totally up to you what you want to do with it. You're free to do whatever you want. Like right now, if I wanted to, I just hit this button, edit mode, and I can grab like this bookshelf and I can move it outwards if I want. I want to lift it up. I can do whatever I want with it. So I'll put it right back. And that's it. Like that's what I like about this. Like that makes your gameplay that like, man, I don't have enough time to play. What should I do? I'm gonna have like, you know, maybe 45 minutes. Why don't you go to your dimension, have a good time playing with it. Now, I'm not saying everything about Rift is better than WoW. WoW does have better PvP. It does have better PvP. I give WoW that. It has a good PvP. Now, if it's balanced, I'm not gonna say that, but it's pretty good that WoW has. Like Rift only has PvP. It doesn't have arenas. It doesn't have rated battlegrounds. It just has, you just join PvP and have a good time. The Rift's more towards the PvE and end game content, whereas WoW is trying to gain everything up there, which is actually bringing them down in my opinion. I also like WoW. I also like WoW because it has a strong player base. Rift doesn't have a huge player base due to the fact that it's not like everyone was like, oh, this game wasn't good, so they went back to WoW and they never looked back. Whereas actually when Rift went free to play, it's actually when I came back, and I actually was very happy I came back because it was a really good game. Also, what I like about Rift, what they did with the cash shop is, most free-to-play games just go ruin the whole game with this. They mostly make it where it's like pay to win. Everything you do, you just win. What I like about it, it's very like, if I wanted to get equipment, wanted to get armor, I can only buy the blue sets and I have to upgrade them. And you can probably farm this under like 2 to 3 days, no problem. But you can actually pay for it if you want to. It's either way, but you can call that pay to win. I wouldn't even call that pay to win because the starting gear for raid gear is pretty much garbage. It's just, you'll get rid of it so fast. It's not even worth it. It just helps you get into raids, but it's okay. My favorite part about this is when you go to wardrobe. Right, this is another thing with wardrobes. If you go to weapons, and then these are all just sets. Like my favorite one, where is it? Let's see if I can find it. Like, I'll just show you a few. Like there's a sword right there. I don't know what that is. Let me see if I can find this. You have a scythe if you want. Look how badass the scythes are. Like, think of WoW right now, and then be like, what was a good skin set they had? They've barely had any good skin sets for gear. Whereas I'm just clicking through randomness, and all of it looks pretty badass. That's okay. But mostly everything you're using is pretty cool. Like this scythe is actually pretty badass, I won't lie. One-handers, you can have candy canes if you want. Broken bottles if you're an alcoholic. Okay, flowers. It's good. Like none of the daggers, the swords are actually, where is it at? They actually get really intense. Where are they? It's okay. Where is it? I mean, it's pretty decent. I'm trying to find the ones I like the most. I can't find it. Oh, it's offhand probably. Wow. Where'd it go? Is it just a sale? I'm just gonna keep clicking through this. But it's pretty cool. I like the skin sets and every single customizable in the game. I don't know, I haven't found one piece of gear in game it's like, wow, are you kidding me? Except for like, let me take that back. There's a few. But overall, the skins on the gear are actually really cool looking. I mean, I don't have a problem with anything I wear. Like, I can wear anything, I'll be happy with it. Whereas WoW's like, oh, I need this specific gear because everything else looks garbage. I don't know, like Sword Dimension, that's pretty cool. Also then they have wardrobe, they have costumes. Oops, let me go back. Ooh, too much, sorry about that. I don't know, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but you just click this, Infernal set. Like, these are all different sets. Just going to go through it really briefly. Just skipping through some of them. And you can always, like, view, like, I don't like the helm, you can take the helm off. I don't like these, you can take those off. Like, you can just mix and match if you want. Just going through real fast. How big is this? Oh, that was beginning gear. There's so much you can do with this, like that. Looks like an old school Ranger. But I'm not gonna go into detail. Whoa, I can go in, like, so much with the cash shop, but that's another reason. Also, what I like about Rift, here we go. This is the main reason why I like Rift. I can play, for instance, if I'm a bard right now. Like, oh hey, we need a bard. Okay, DJ, go bard. I'm a bard now. I start barding for my raid group. Hey, we actually don't need a bard. DJ, go range. I go range. I hit activate. Now I'm a marksman. Like, okay, wait, we don't need a marksman. We need a tank. Oh, bam, I'm a tank. Oh, hey, we actually need a tard. Like, you can just keep switching through these, and like, there's 8 roles total. So you definitely don't have just 2 rules like WoW, it's like you only have 2 and or else you're going to pay gold to switch. You have 8 total rules to go through. Why I really like this game. Also the customization, even though this is the best spec out there, blah blah blah. There is other optimum ways, like there's certain fights you might want another spec, which I've seen before. And then maybe if you want a PvP, you can have your PvP range. Like for instance right now, if I made all these roles, I have my DPS bard, like I can make this my stealth for PvP, my range for PvP, my tank, my melee DPS, my tard, and then like whatever else I need, maybe another type of tank for a certain fight. It's very customizable because in raid fights, like a 20-man raid, you might just need 1 tank. And like, okay, we only need 1. And then like, hey, this fight we're actually gonna need 3, or maybe 2. So you have to be versatile with your class. You can't just be, hey, I am ranged DPS and only ranged DPS. Like, no, you're a ranged DPS, but you better know how to play bard. You better know how to play this, because if this guy doesn't make it, you're gonna be barding. Like, it's very customizable. Also, what I like is you go to your character sheet, the planner focus right here. This planner focus, this doesn't have stats. These lessers give this stats. You have 4 lessers, 2 here, and 2 graders. So you can also put a lesser in a grader slot, but you can't put a grader in a lesser spot. And graders usually have like, when you crit, you have a chance of increasing your crit power by 106, or so forth and so forth. And then you can actually increase that into a legendary item later on through the game, which then allow your grader to have stats and that effect, which then will stack into this. So if I wanted to, and I actually had say for instance I had another planner, a grader planner, I would take this off. See how they all followed? Because they're all on this one right here. And then I would just pick another one up and put it back in there, and then it'll show me all the stats it gives me. That's also what I like about it too, is the customizable ability of it. Also, the gear you wear don't have set bonuses. The gear you wear, like the gear shown right now has set bonuses, is actually off of the crystal. So like, hey, I'm going bard, so I put the bard crystal on so I can increase my stats. and like, hey, instead of using my bard, I'm going to go MM. I'm going to actually use another crystal, put that crystal on there to give me different set bonuses, i.e. marksman, but just like this ability does more damage and so forth. It's very customizable. I really enjoy this game. This is probably one of the most funnest games I've played in probably a good 2 or 3 years. I just like how much the in-game content is. Also, the community in this game isn't bad compared to WoW. Like, sure, you get your, like 1 or 2 trolls here and there, but you would ask a legitimate question, it usually gets answered. Another thing WoW somewhat has, but it's not as good because you can't do it in Mists of Pandaria Land, is they have cross-server events. So it's like, hey, I'm looking for a group to do this event. Like, well, no, my server does it. That's like cross events. Everyone types in it. And this guy from Deepwood, for instance, says he's looking for more Grey Hunt rank 5s only. So I would say, hey, I'm interested. He'll send me an invite, and I'll transfer to his instance, his server, or wherever server they're on, and then I can start doing Grey Hunt rips with them. That's also why this is a good game too, is because you can play with anyone. Also, that goes with raiding too. I can raid with a guild on another server. Now the only problem is if the people you're raiding with is on Seastone, which is the only PvP server, then you have to be either Guardian or Defiant, depending on what they are. Other than that, you could be a Guardian with a Defiant guild, and you can raid with them. Like right now, my guild, I think I'm like one of the only Guardians. Yeah, no, I refer to that reverse. We have a few Defiants, but we all can raid together because we're on a PvE server. PvE servers, you can have Guardians and Defiants working in the same guild, whereas in Seastone, which is the only PvP guild, PvP server, your guilds are Defiant and Guardian only. So I mean, that's like the only thing. I mean, if WoW would introduce down PvE servers, hey, even though you're a horde, you can still group with Alliance. It'd probably make it a lot better, but they're with the PvP, and so I'm not sure. I don't like that. I don't like how, like, oh, I can't play my friend because he's Alliance. I gotta go level another character. Another thing WoW doesn't have, which is kind of sad, that Rift has is, well, there's only 4 classes. There's a Rogue, Cleric, Warrior, and Mage. But even though you're a Warrior, like at the beginning when I played this game, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go Rogue because I want a DPS. I didn't know Rogues can support, can tank, can range DPS, and melee DPS. Those are the roles we have. If you're a Warrior, you're either a tank, a DPS, or a support. If you're a Cleric, which is probably the coolest thing, is you can do any role. You can support, you can heal, you can tank, you can melee DPS, and you can range DPS as a Cleric. And as a Mage, I totally thought mages were just going to be DPS. No, you can heal as a Mage, you can support as a Mage, you can melee and range DPS as a Mage. It's really customizable as you play. If you want to be a melee Mage, you can go BAM. And it's viable too. All the specs are viable. Melee and range DPS, depending on what spec it is, that makes it different. But you can still be a melee Mage. I love this game. I don't think I'll ever stop playing it. Like even if like other games come out, I'll still come back and play this game here and there. It's awesome. You get your set bonuses from crystals. If you're on planar focus, you can be whatever you want. Dimensions, the in-game content. Actually, I like kind of a grind. I don't like things give it to me. I have to work for it. So when you get it, it's actually a relief. Like, I earned that. I did my job. Variety. Also, if I hit my not that button. If I hit this, look at the achievement points. This is a new account, so my old account, so I had to like make everything. But I'm only 10% done with the game, and I've done a lot. There's 20,625 achievement points to be earned in this game, which is a lot. Also, when you go to artifacts, there's artifact hunting. So if you're like a gatherer, you like to collect things, artifacts is the way to go. It's like collecting pets, but better. Because it's just one of those things where you go out in the world, you collect them, or you can buy them on the auction house. And it's just one of those achievements that you kind of like. If you don't buy anything and you actually work for it, like I did once, an old account, and you get to a certain high point and you collect them, actually it feels good knowing that you did this. I mean, it might seem like you have no life, but it was kind of fun doing it, if you want to ask me. Also then, There's mounts you can have, like you can get your stash of mounts. Titles, the titles are usually you can have a prefix and a suffix. So if I wanted to be constant, like something like that, the storm would be Constable DJCARRY of the Storm, you know, guild name. I don't like having titles though. Just me though. What is else there? Tells your intelligent instance skills. There you go, skills. Professions. What I like about professions in this game is you can actually pay for it because it's a free to play game, and like if you put, every month you put like a little like $5, and you can make your character have. You start off with 3 crafting abilities. So right now I get mining, foraging, and butchering because I want money, because I'm greedy like that. But if I pay like an extra $5 a month or whatever, just throughout the whole time, $5, $10, I can't remember exactly what it was. Like if I had a subscription, I can actually add another crafting to them. So I can have 4 crafting. It goes up to 9. I can have all crafting abilities on one character if I wanted to, which is kind of cool. I like how they did that. I don't have to level another character to 60 just to have 3 more crafting abilities. I can have 160. I can have everything on them. I can just have everything with them. Also, what I like about this game, you don't need add-ons. Like I don't think I use any add-ons really. I think I just used one, and I think this one. I don't even think I use that for rating. But I have just this, which is just like a DPS meter. Everything else, like my edit layout, I can edit anything on this without any add-ons. This is in-game editing. I can move my target portrait, I can make it bigger, I can make it smaller, I can make it crazy. You can do almost anything. So I'm just going to do a quick recap. If you have any more questions, you can just put a link, question in the down there on YouTube. Sorry about that. Put a question in YouTube, comment. I'll get back to you. I'll answer it every single time you guys ask a question. But we have dimensions in Rift. We have better in-game content, in my opinion. You actually have to earn your gear. Rating isn't easy. You also have better costumes. Way better costumes. Let me make sure I exaggerate that. Way better costumes. Your wardrobe is way better. Better variety. Once again, dimensions. Like I don't think you guys understand how fun making a dimension is. You get this little platform and you build it up yourself. I have another video if you want to go check it. Hit Adam's channel and you'll see it. But it's just a great thing. Rifts are awesome. Leveling in this game is actually fun if you play with people, not by yourself. Of course, this is an MMO. It isn't a solo play. Doing grip grinding, strongholds, and greater rifts, really fun. That's my favorite thing. And then the random rifts that come down, like it isn't as the gameplay. It's like you'll be questing, like you'll be rift zone event, and like you can do that to help your quest. It's actually really fun. But that's just my opinion. My name is DJ Lowdrop. If you guys have any questions, I'm on Fadeflight. DJCARRY at Fadeflight. If you have any questions on Rift. If not, leave a comment on YouTube and I'll get back to you.